Hello Bubblers, this is Andrew from Sommo, and today we will discover how to manage efficiently empty state in your Bubble app. Probably every Bubble app has some sort of a repeating group where you display a list for users. In our case, we have 500 comments from JSON placeholders API, and let's see how to manage empty state when you, for example, search for something and there are no records matching your search query. Probably the most common case is to check your repeating group if this repeating group count is 0, and if yes, then display the empty state like here in our case. This works, and probably most apps use this approach. However, as per AirDev manual, this approach is the most inefficient and consumes the most workload units inside your application. The whole 3.8 workflow units per 1000 items in your database. It's a lot. If you have like hundreds of thousands rows, for example, then your workload units will be really big. And the problem is not only with the workflow units, because meaning the fact that it consumes so many workflow units means also that it performs a lot of operations that make your app inefficient and slow for your users. Another approach, also common, is to check instead of a count the first item if it is not empty. For example, if your empty state inside your repeating group, the first item is empty, meaning then there are no items, and then you display your empty state. It also works. It is slightly more efficient, consumes only 0.69 workflow units and can work. However, we would like maybe to avoid consuming any workload units at all to make your app snappier, efficient, and helps you reduce costs of your workload units. We can achieve that by managing the layout of your elements on your page. For example, we can group our empty state and repeating group inside a container, make it aligned to parent container, and align both of them to top left, and place your empty state behind simply behind the repeating group, and it will work. So, for example, here I have my in the tab behind empty state behind our list, and when there are no items, it displays the empty state. It will not work in a couple of situations when you, for example, your empty state is bigger than the first list item, or for example, simply if your list item does not have transparent background. It can happen in some cases. When it is small or have transparent background, etc. In that case, your repeating group, as you can see here, your empty state will be visible behind the repeating group, so which is not great, of course. We can add some couple of conditions that will render this approach suitable for almost all use cases. For that, we can still group them with a parent container that aligns to parent, and add a couple of extra conditions. And these conditions are page loaded above fold, meaning waiting for your page to fully load. Check if the repeating group is loading is null, so that we wait for the repeating group to load the items, so that we don't display empty state when the repeating group is still loading your elements. And also check if the height of the repeating group is below some really small threshold. It can be 10, 5, maybe 20, depending on your layout. This also requires for your repeating group its height to fit to content and have minimum height of 0. So that meaning when no items, it just collapses. And using this condition, we check, for example, it works great in the vast majority of cases, and allows you to both display your empty state, don't have any blinking, works with any types of layouts, and most importantly, consumes 0 workload units and makes your app snappy, efficient, and cost-effective. Hope it helps. Follow us for more useful tips on managing your Bubble applications, and happy no coding!